and a season. There's a time to laugh and there's a time to cry. There's a time to be born and there's a time to die. There's a time for the weekend and then there's a time for the weekdays like today. It's a Monday, the 25th day of March 2024. Back Mother says, welcome back from the weekend. Welcome back from Palm Sunday. Thank you for turning up in very big numbers to the churches. Amasinzi zomwaga juza negabera ku full capacity. So we say thank you very much. And in the same line of seasons, there is a time to be on and there is a time to be off. A very good morning to you. Today we are starting with reminding each other to know when it's time to be on and off. Appreciate each moment in time as it comes. For example, we sometimes get into rooms and we have to switch on when we need the light and switch off when we don't need the light anymore. But some of us forget that we are not living in the automated season, where you get in and then the light goes on. You get out, then it senses. You're out, then it will go off. As long as you're not in the automated zone. When you get out of a room, we are reminding you, please switch off the light. Just like the body goes to sleep sometimes, you need a rest. Even the lights, we need to be mindful of our environment. Love your environment, know when to switch on and know when to switch off. Yeah, so that the lights can also get a break. So we are moving straight into the headlines we have over the weekend and today. What do we have? A few things that you're going to see. Number one, it was double joy in Luwero as the consecration of Luwero Bishop Wilson Chiseka also happened along with the Palm Sunday celebrations. Kudos to them all and for all of you who turned up in large numbers. Churches zabadde ku full capacity bannaye. There is a way either tumanye okusaba oba tusabira onne ennaku nkulu. Also number two, the Mpigi school fires at St. Bernard Secondary School was an act of arson since it was started by unknown persons using petrol. 10 students died in this fire. 36 others were terribly injured. An entire dormitory perished, and it is alleged that the bottle that was found in the dormitory was the one that was used to start the fire. So the person put the petrol in there, broke a window, threw it in, and watched children die because the person went ahead and locked off the dormitories from outside. It was an unintended act of arson and murder. Anyway, so number three, there are land issues in Acholi sub-region. The Lands Ministry details how individuals have processed land titles under both the leasehold and freehold arrangements amounting to more than 158,100 hectares. And then number four, we have more men in West Nile reporting more gender-based violence cases. Why this is happening, you might have to find yourself a paper and read more into it. But also, common sense, but at the end of the day, violence is not okay. Violence on any level is not okay. Man meting violence to woman, not okay. Woman meting violence to woman is not okay. Man meting violence to woman, nothing under the line of violence is okay. Also number five, UPC's Sarah Aguti won the Dokolo Woman MP by-election. So that is how it stands in the few headlines we've managed to get. Now into the local news, we are going to take a look at the story. The unbridled theft and the abuse of taxpayers. Banange taxpayers, we get taxpayers. Puliranga njagala kusaba mirembe mali ye mirundi nga 10. So the taxpayers' money is being abused, misused by the politicians that are supposed to be looking out for the masses. So government has set up an inquiry, a committee to look into the misuse of taxpayers' money. Let's take a look at this video.
Financial Intelligence Authority, DPP and the Auditor General, asking them to operate within their mandate to investigate matters of financial impropriety and other issues that are happening here at Parliament. Because those entities are put in place by law and mandates, which mandates we expect them to operate within. I saw the Inspector General of Government saying that the Auditor General is investigating and so she's stepping aside. And we're saying, wait a minute, IGG, what exactly are you? Why are you running away from your responsibility? Because the mandate of the IGG is clear. The IGG cannot say that there is somebody else who is investigating, in fact auditing, because the Auditor General audits, of course, as the investigator and so on. But the IGG cannot say, the Auditor General is investigating, so let me step aside. No. Do not run away from your responsibilities, except if you're saying you're too scared as well. So there's no law, because the mandate of the IGG is very clear. The mandate of the Auditor General is very clear. There's no overlap. So the IGG, there's no law that bars the IGG from investigating a matter just because somebody else is investigating. Because the IGG is an independent entity, statutory entity put in place by the IGG needs not to run away from her responsibility, which is very clear within the law. And the mandates are different. Besides, the Auditor General is an officer of Parliament. We understand that the Speaker asked the Auditor General to come and carry out an audit regarding these issues. We are not very convinced about that audit because one, the Auditor General is an officer of Parliament. Number two, the Auditor General sent the same team that has been auditing Parliament all this while to carry out this special audit as well. They are conflicted. We don't expect them to come up with anything new. We don't expect them to say what we audited the other time was not proper, so we have found some new issues, yeah? And so I've also written to the Auditor General asking him, number one, to send a new team, not the one that has been auditing Parliament, which is what he sent. Because we believe that that particular audit team is just going to do window dressing and cleansing. And then the Speaker will flash a report and say, you see, the Auditor General has audited, everything is okay. So we don't believe in that audit by the same team which has been auditing Parliament all this while. There should be a different team. If anything, there should be a forensic audit because you see, these are billions of shillings that we are talking about. So we are telling the Auditor General, take this audit very seriously, dig deeper. You cannot have that same team that has been coming all the while. And that's one of the letters that I've written to the Auditor General. And in essence, that's why we are telling the IGG, you cannot say the Auditor General is auditing because the Auditor General is actually part of us. Of course, yes, he has got a legal mandate, but he's part of us. And now that the Speaker has told him do an audit, what guarantee do we have that that will be a proper audit? That won't just be doing window dressing. So we are.
Well, when we talk about the taxpayers' money, we talk about the plight in number one. Omuwiwo omusoro engeri gy'abonabona ne ssente ze. Then, me, I'm wondering, when I watch such a video, I'm wondering, Senyonyi, who is your godfather? Who wants to be there calling out thieves in the nation here? Hey, you be there. Anyway, we move into our next story. So it has come, it is high alert. We now know that the ADF militants have sneaked into the country's public and we are urged into the country. ADF is in the country and we have all been urged to be vigilant. Vigilanti bannaye tunulira omuntu birageji byakuteekera okumpi olinye taxi ataddewo ebintu afulumye. Be vigilant, speak up. Lwakuba ennaku zino we are too afraid to speak up. We become very timid. I can't blame anybody for it, yeah? But Ugandan security forces are on high alert after they said fighters from an Islamic State-linked group entered the country over the weekend. So the Allied Democratic Forces militants are planning attacks in urban areas, places of worship, schools and public events, according to the army. That's what the army is saying. So we have been urged as the public to remain vigilant to avoid being victims of the ADF terror. But I am begging you guys, okay, of course you cannot run away from danger. Yeah, there is so much you can do to not bagenda kubawo. But we are saying if there is anything suspicious going on around you, omuntu azze ku kaduuka kamwe ku kyalo temumulabangako, temwamulabye ng'asenguka, naye abaana batandise omuyita anko mangu awo yabagulira soda ne munywa, yabagulira amagi ne mulya. Basically have questions. Ovudde waggwani bakuziika wa bani abakumanyi. Ask those questions. Go to your leaders. Though some of them have been corrupted, but it is so sad. But make a step let it be known that you have done your best. Be vigilant. In schools, teach the children to speak up if there's somebody coming to their gate and telling them, "Nkwatirako wano twalira teacher." Omwana ayiga okubuuza, what is inside here that you're telling me to take somewhere? I don't know you and you're entrusting me with something I'm supposed to deliver. Yeah, those are some of the simple ways we can be vigilant, but we need to be vigilant. This has nothing to do with patriotism. It's all about vigilance. So let's take a look at our next video on this.
Intelligence forces have now confirmed that 2 days ago, another group has infiltrated the country with the same mission. This group is suspected to be under the command of a notorious ADF commander, Ahmad Mohamud Hassan, aka Abu Wakas. This man is a Tanzanian-born ADF expert, and he, along with him, has hatched a plan with Muhammad Isa. This is Muhammad Isa, among the commanders who have recently planned to infiltrate and do acts of terrorism in the area. Amigo Kibirige, sometimes known as Simba, this is him, those who don't know him. Muhammad Lumisa, get you soft copies of these pictures, and Nasa Hamidu Diru. Nasa Hamidu Diru looks like this. So these are the current planners of the current infiltration, and we suspect one of them to be already in the country. Other sister security agencies have been informed, are on alert, and we will continue working together to protect Ugandans as we have always done. It is simply suicidal for these terrorists to continue making terrorism adventures into the country, and UPDF and the entire sister forces, together with the people, we shall do all possible to annihilate this group. Having hit hard in areas of Commander inside the DRC, ADF has gone on rampage in DRC, killing civilians far away from our joint forces operations areas with the Congolese Army, FARDC. The country should know that we are sharing all plans with our counterparts, including some of the proposals the two heads of state of DRC and Uganda shared on employment of LODUs, or commonly known as vigilantes, to stop the current killings in DRC. The public is therefore informed that ADF still harbors the intention of sending terror groups in Uganda, especially urban areas. Also, they plan to send these cells into places of worship, schools, and public gatherings to cause mayhem, as they attempted to do last time. We call upon the citizens to be vigilant, identify and report any suspicious individuals or packages to avoid being victims of ADF terror.
By a friend of mine to remind the people seeing and viewing us that being vigilant doesn't mean when you see someone who is suspicious and bakuraze terrorist no gamba ayayaya yoyo gayi murabye yoyo tumugoberere nga munoza mumalako do not intercept, do not take on the battle by yourself. Gwe oyambadde jacket bagiyita ya civilian tolina maanyi ago gatuukirira muntu ng'oyo. Of course bw'oba weewulira bw'amaanyi siyinza kyogerako ekyo siyinza kyogerako, but we are saying report to the nearest police station, or at least have a way, a mechanism of following them in the blanks without being don't put your life in danger. your safety first. Don't put your life in danger, but report to the police bagambe namulabyeko ko wano ate kakati yagenzeeko wali okitegeere. Be vigilant, but don't take on the war by yourself, especially when you've noticed that is the person they showed you on the telly. So we are moving on into Kampala's issue with the water. Okay, most of us live in the slums, and we know Kampala slums are not so few. There are many, and approximately 60% of the urban population reside in the slum. Which is okay because we are surviving there. But we know every issue that comes with the slum comes with unsafe water, unclean environments, and residents often resorting to using dirty water, which poses several health risks that we can attest to. Yeah, they lead to diseases like diarrhea, cholera, typhoid, dysentery. We have to be very alert when it comes to safe drinking water. Let's take a look at this video taken from Mugwanya zone. Residents lack access to clean water. Let's take a look at this.
Kampala slums lack access to clean water with no proper sewage systems in most areas, thus posing a serious hazard. Efforts to ease access to water and improve infrastructure have so far been inadequate. Water scarcity and a deficient sewage system are the major challenges Kampala is facing. Speaking to UCTV News, Mayanja Mohammed, the chairman, Mugwanya Zone, a slum in Zambia, says the high cost of water cannot be afforded by some residents in the area, therefore leaving them with limited options.
Government yenu yaleta amazzi aga sente entono bo bagayita naga NRM ge yaleta nga siringi 10 ngosobola okufuna ekidomola ky'amazzi ekyo naye ate bana abatasobola kufuna mazzi ago ne bakima kugana ag'okuluzzi enzizi abasawo bagenda okukebera basanga amazzi ago nga galimu empitambi olw'okuba nti abasimi bana abasima toyizi nezeno ku nsozi zisukka mu fuuti ezaali badde abazungu ze batugamba ti fuuti 15 kubanga nze nkuze mu kyalo waffe nga bajawaka ne bakubuuza ka 15 okayina nga kitegeeza tosukkawo niye bantu bagenda okusima toyi bazisima fuuti 5 fuuti 8 kati ekyo kiina challenge nene gye kitituleetera okwonoona amazzi abantu bali abatasobola kugula mazzi ge bali badde bakozesa kyekizibu kye tuyina.
The infrastructure development has not been able to keep pace with the rapid population growth of recent decades. Many people, therefore, rely on alternative shallow wells or other sources of water which are potentially contaminated.
I would say we had a problem of water, but currently as we speak we have some 2 wells where we can collect water for those ones who cannot afford tap water.
In order to improve service, the National Water and Sewerage Corporation has tried to increase water production, installing efficient water management system and preventing water and sewage links.
Amazzi mu kitundu kyaffe tetubadde bubi nnyo olw'ensonga nti baatuleetera bino ebyuma mwe tuteeka tokeni ne tufuna amazzi. Osobola oteekako 2000 ne ziwemmala weeks 2 abakozesa empola mpola. Waliwo n'enzizi wadde teziri mu mbeera nnungi basobola okugenda ne bajjako amazzi amatonotono agooza ko amazzi tetubadde bubi tubadde bulungiko.
Nevagala Madina, a resident of the area, highlights some of the challenges that they face with the installation of the tapped water system in the area.
Twafunamuko obuzibu olw'abantu abeeyita abagezi okutubba mita n'okutubba tap ereeta amazzi. Ebuzibu twafunamuko mu buzibu bwa tap nenga yo tap yo nga yo terina buzibu etuyamba. Buzibu twafunamu obukabuka.
Nevertheless, the existing infrastructure cannot meet the needs of the growing urban population. Inadequate hygiene practices and lack of access to sanitary facilities are making the matters worse. Many residents rely on poor maintained pit latrines, causing contamination for both surface and groundwater sources. Nora Osende.
Let me first ask. Who is stealing the taps from areas like that? Kwati gwengo ogenda, wherever people are fetching water, they need water and it's going to flow through the tap, but you go ahead and steal people's taps. I was tebala scrap. Because now scrap body very hard. Budi chuma bagala chitwala. Budi chuma bagala chitwala. What like how do you be a person abantu bazimba go zimbulura? But what am I saying today on Arise? We are begging. Since we are still in the Lenten period, the Muslims are fasting, the Christians are also still continuing the fast, which is coming to an end over this weekend. So we are begging, if there's something you can do about providing safe drinking water, whatever you can do to help people that you can help. I can take safe drinking water that can maybe help a house maybe for 2-3 days or maybe 2-3 weeks. Please go to these areas. Go help out people, because that is what you're supposed to do. Easing life for one another, helping each other and being there for each other. That's the gospel that the good Lord left us. Be kind, be loving, be generous. Yeah, that's what we have to do. So we continue into our international news. Today we are celebrating the men and women who rose up over 200 years ago to fight for the independence of Greece. So today is the Greek Independence Day. So they rose up and they walked to a cause of freedom and declared their independence from the Ottoman Empire. Abasinga tujja kujukira Ottoman Empire in our history lessons, but here we are celebrating this day with the Greeks. And that's it for international news. So let's get into our Vatican updates. This Holy Week, what is the meaning behind Easter liturgical celebrations? Since we are going into them, we might as well polish up our knowledge about what Easter means. Let's take a look at it.